caused a major stir in the basketball world, but has mostly brought frustration to the greatest, who now faces his greatest challenge. In Orlando, the hope was to finally unleash the dynamic duo they thought was assembled last year. Injury had sidelined Grant Hill for most of the season, but Tracy McGrady heightened expectations.
Well, you're looking at a guy that's really emerging into a flat-out start.
Now their progression as a tandem has once again been slowed by injury. Past greatness, the potential for greatness. Living up to the challenge lies ahead.
This is the NBA on NBC.
The MCI Center in Washington, D.C. The Wizards have sold out every game at home and on the road this season. Tonight, another packed house is expected to watch Michael Jordan and the Wizards take on Tracy McGrady and the Orlando Magic. Hello, everybody.
I mean, it's a learning process. I think before anybody wins, other than Bill Walton, you have to lose some games, just so you understand what winning's all about. It's not where everybody just go out and get the points, and next thing you know, you get a big payday. I mean, you have to sacrifice, and that's what losing, more or less illustrates.
You guys lose to Cleveland. Game that was a horrible game. You come out, you say we stink. Everybody that watched the game agrees with you. But what I wonder is, how did those comments affect your teammates?
Well, I mean, it could have been, taken in a different manner if I said you guys stink. I said we stink. I'm a part of this whole process. We stunk that night because we underestimated Cleveland. We didn't come in with the same focus. Bounced back in Philly, bounced back in Miami, had the same intensity, and we play a lot better. 4 games in 5 nights. How about you physically? I'm a little sore. 38 years old, playing a lot of minutes. Obviously, your body's going to send you some messages, and I'm listening to them about it. But at the same time, I realize too that, I'm teaching, I'm educating, I'm helping, I'm supporting these young kids, and I'm not out trying to make anything spectacular happen. I'm just trying to help this franchise turn itself around and get more positive and win. You said that you were coming back for the love of the game. Has it waned at all a little bit? No. I've been disappointed, but not frustrated to a point where I question my decision. It only became disappointment when I felt like the guys didn't have the same passion or the same motive once we stepped on the basketball court. Now that becomes disappointing, but my love for the game is very strong. I cannot lose that love just by not having success. I think that builds character. Going through those types of periods, and this is an organization that's going to sustain based on character. Now, I have heard, and you've probably heard, a lot of rumors going around about Charles Barkley coming to the rescue for the Washington Wizards. I mean, I think he's not driving the chuck wagon. I'm no different than most of every American that watches Charles. We are amused by Charles, and we love to listen, and sometimes we don't always take what he says for granted. I think in his heart he wishes he could get down and enjoy what I'm enjoying, I think. But I think physically, sometimes your body sends you messages that, you can't do certain things, and other people are going to be able to do things more than, what you can do. But I am amused by when Charles says he wants to come back and play. I mean, I can understand his passion for the game and his help, his lending his hand, to help me out. But this franchise is starting to turn around. We won 3 in the last 4, so he can hold the chuck wagon for a little while. I think we're starting to bond and understand who we are. But I understand his love.
Last year's Rookie of the Year, Mike Miller. Rookie from DePaul, Stephen Hunter starting at center. Tracy McGrady and Darrell Armstrong in the backcourt. And the Wizards with Michael Jordan, Christian Laettner, and Jahidi White on the front line. Richard Hamilton and Chris Whitney at the guards. We are joined on the sideline, as always, by Jim Gray. Let's go to Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. Here with Tracy McGrady. Tracy, we just saw where you said you circled this day on your calendar. You were 18 years old when you last faced Michael Jordan. You said you were intimidated and a little scared. Any of those feelings today?
Oh, not at all. I've matured over the years, so I'm going to treat it like another game. I'm ready to play.
you're going to have the obligation of trying to stop him. Can you do it alone? Can he be stopped? Or you're going to need a little help?
Well, obviously, he's going to put up a lot of shots, so it's going to be a little bit of both. I'm going to stop him, and he's going to stop himself, and my team is going to stop him.
Tracy, good luck. Thank you. All right, Marv, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. The officials, Derek Stafford, Mike Smith, and Scott Foster. Michael Jordan, last night of the win in Miami, 10 for 20, 22 points. 8 of the 22 points came in the fourth quarter. The Wizards were down by 13 in the third and came back to beat a Miami team that has now lost 11 in a row. Pat Riley's Heat 2 up and 13 down. And in their previous game this past Wednesday night, the Wizards very impressive in winning at Philadelphia as they bounce back, as we mentioned, from that 19-point loss at Cleveland.
Conversely, Orlando has lost 3 in a row coming in, and their defense has not been doing the job.
Defense ranked last in the NBA. They allow 100 points a game. They cannot get key stops. Hunter rejected and then able to hit on the follow.
Jordan calling for a traveling violation. Looked as if Hunter lost the ball.
Well, you called the matchup, and right now it looks like we have it. McGrady and Jordan are defending one another, so we'll see how that attack goes and whether Richard Hamilton really gets involved in this game.
We don't know if Richard Hamilton needs a screen, with Mike Miller guarding him out on the perimeter.
Now Jordan with the hip fake on McGrady and went to the fadeaway.
Michael should really stop with the pump fake.
Wow.
Killing it. Comes to a stop every single time. When he comes to that stop, execute the give and go.
And Leitner is called for the foul.
One of the things that Doug Collins' team has done over the 3 victories is be a better and more aggressive defensive team. So we should be looking for their defensive energy. They played last night, tough ball game, and even though they closed out Miami, can they come back with that energy early against a good offensive unit in Orlando?
And the Magic in the midst of a stretch playing 6 of 7 at home following tonight's game. So Stephen Hunter, an unlikely scorer with the first 2 buckets.
Doug Collins telling us in the pregame meeting that defending that pick and roll will be a very key responsibility for this emerging Washington squad. That time, a complete breakdown.
Mighty White able to shake loose on Hunter. Doc Rivers going with the 7-foot rookie first-round draft pick Stephen Hunter. Patrick Ewing these days coming off the bench. In fact, Ewing in Orlando's last game played only 6 minutes.
Well, 3 chances in a row for Hunter, and he didn't cash the last one. But what we have seen with the guys that are scoring is ball movement, player movement. And when the ball moves quickly and freely and players follow going in the direction of the hoop, good results. So can Washington keep it up? They're a small jump shooting team that likes and has the tendency to hold the ball.
Doug Collins has to be pleased with the rebounding effort so far. Now if we can just get Christian Laettner, Mr. Collins is self-appointed catalyst for this team going early, things will look a lot better for Washington.
Hamilton digging for the baseline and shooting over Miller. So Richard Hamilton gets the roll, and the game is tied at 4. Crowd still filing in. It is a sellout crowd, better than 20,000. You see empty seats. A late arriving crowd here at MCI.
Washington, Marv, leads the NBA in attendance both at home and on the road. 20,000 plus.
Stay right here, says Derek Stafford. Foul is called. Foul on White.
This is the same play that Michael Jordan tried the first possession of the game for the Wizards. Richard Hamilton goes straight up without pump faking, gets the bucket to drop. Jordan with the pump fake, which takes him out of his rhythm, makes it very difficult to finish.
Wait a minute. Tracy McGrady's a little bit better defender than Mike Miller. Don't get carried away.
Horace Grant. So Horace hits the outside shot. Horace, of course, one-time teammate of Michael Jordan as a member of the Chicago Bulls. 4 NBA championship teams for Horace Grant. 3 with Chicago, then last year with the Los Angeles Lakers. Here's Jordan getting the step. So Michael takes it to the rim.
tease him with the finger roll, come in and let it go before anybody else can get off the ground.
Well, Jordan is up to the task of trying to challenge, and that time McGrady wanted the ball. Jordan would not allow it to happen.
Michael Jordan, who has led the Wizards in scoring in 13 of the 15 games that the Wizards have played this year, able to get down into the lane. I'm not sure you want to allow him to dribble to his right hand.
Foul's called on Jordan. Here's McGrady. Beautiful pass and a foul. McGrady slipping it down low to Hunter.
Well, one thing, somebody better learn Hunter is really good close to the basket, because that's where he's been hiding, and they continue to find him. Jordan gets beat defensively, and that is what allows the play to happen, and then Jordan coming back, trying to make the block.
Time you had your knee drained, Mark.
Actually, yesterday.
Sorry to hear that.
Hamilton hit by McGrady. So Tracy McGrady collects his second.
A cheap one for McGrady, too, because that was a quick turn and toss from Richard Hamilton. Didn't have much of a chance to get to the hoop.
Doc Rivers perplexed.
Coming up starting Monday night as they're back home for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Of those 11 opponents, 8 of the first ones were playoff teams from a year ago. Brutal schedule early for Orlando, but they've always been a better second half team.
Heidi White rejected by Stephen Hunter. McGrady.
Doug Collins just begging for transition defense, which he said was another one of the keys. That time just allowing the Magic to run right by the helpless Wizards.
Magic with a 9-8 lead.
Give him some space.
Michael drawing the double team. Shot clock at 5. Leitner rejected by Hunter.
What you have to remember is McGrady is a quick greyhound, and he sees a chance right here to get an easy 2 and just runs away from Jordan to finish the play. Now, both of these guys have 2 personal fouls, and Doc Rivers told us yesterday, big concern for him was to watch the fouls on McGrady. He would like to have Grant Hill around, so if one got in foul trouble, he could switch him off on Jordan. Jordan coming out of the ball game right now.
Michael sitting down. Hubert Davis has checked in. He's back from a torn right hamstring. He's been on the injured list following a strong training camp, but he's played well. He's been on fire from downtown as McGrady takes a seat. He is replaced by Judd Bushler. Darrell Armstrong with his first field goal.
Armstrong is the real barometer for this Orlando Magic team. Just a dynamic performer, up and down. You have to keep him under control.
Here's Whitney for play. Chris Whitney started the season providing support for Michael Jordan. He was getting open looks. He was converting, then hit a little down period, and he's come on recently. Shot well last night in the win at Miami. Armstrong again.
Armstrong came out early, took a lot of extra shots. Obviously, he's a streaky perimeter shooter. He's on the boil right now, so see if they keep running plays for him against Chris Whitney.
Missed a wide open Richard Hamilton. Give up the ball, please, Chris Whitney.
Heidi White trying to power his way. Is that out of your arsenal, Phil? Little flip shot past the basket.
Called an offensive foul on Jahidi. Doug Collins sticking with him, even though he's getting tremendous performance for Brendan Haywood, who's about to check in.
And the crowd reacts.
Well, for Doug Collins, he's got to figure out a way to bring Haywood into it and at the same time keep Jahidi White's confidence up. He can't afford to lose any of his big people. He's got Kwame Brown sitting over there who he doesn't really feel is ready to play extended minutes, so Jahidi White has got to play and he's got to get something out of it.
How about Tyrone Lue to come in and play some defense against Darrell Armstrong here?
Armstrong hit his previous 2. Brendan Haywood is the rookie from North Carolina, 7-footer. Began the season on the injured list. He is back in action and has played very well. This is only his 4th game back.
Nice passing.
And Haywood puts it down. Haywood out with the torn ligaments in his left thumb. The injury suffered in a preseason game and wore cast for several weeks.
Hamilton is doing a fine job defensively on Mike Miller away from the ball.
Grant forcing and hitting Horace Grant with a quick release over Christian Laettner, so the Magic with a 15-13 lead.
Hey, starting to pick up, and the Magic want to get that tempo wide open. Just run, run, run. It's the Wizards who are in the 4th game in 5 nights here. They're the fatigue team.
Offensive foul is called on Richard Hamilton and a timeout taken with 5:32 to go in this first quarter. Of the first quarter.
Doug Collins told us prior to the game tonight that this team, which he's learning more and more all the time, is a very low energy team. That first quarter was emblematic of that thought by Doug. 5 turnovers on only 7 baskets.
All right, then what would be the reason for a team that's supposed to be a collection of young players being low energy?
Well, it'll be the personality of the individual players. I don't think because guys are young doesn't mean that they necessarily have to have high energy. Look at Bill. Here's Hudson with the step. Oh, what a move by Hudson.
Well, I would say this. When you're young, if you don't have energy then, you'll never have it. And Doug has got to find a way to get these guys ready to play at the start of the ball game.
Defensive 3-second call.
It's become my least favorite call in the entire rule book.
And Michael Jordan will take the shot.
The legend, the Hall of Famer, John Thompson.
So Michael hits the tee.
You don't like the rule because you were a big man, or you don't like the rule because too many free throws?
I don't like the rule because it makes no sense. Just let them play basketball. Why do you have any defensive rules at all? To say play defense if you want to.
Michael Jordan being guarded by his former teammate Judd Bushler with some help. Here's Hubert Davis on the 24. And the Magic now leading 23-21.
Hubert Davis can fill that role for Michael Jordan that Steve Kerr and John Paxson filled for years. Poked away by Jordan defensively.
Comes right back to Hudson, and he's able to hit the jumper. Troy Hudson, a 5-year man out of Southern Illinois, playing some backup point guard.
You know, when we talked to Doc Rivers yesterday, he said maybe we're rotating too much. Maybe we're expecting too much help, and they got to learn how to guard their people individually. That's where they're getting in trouble, and they got to start shutting down other players and stop worrying so much about the star.
How about Popeye Jones showing us the perimeter touch?
If he adds that consistently to his repertoire, what a force he can become.
Armstrong way off on that 3-point attempt. Jones is down court. Michael did not see him.
This is a fun matchup for Jordan. Bushler, Ben Ewing.
Nice fake by Lou. Teron Lou not able to hit. Up by Jones, rejected. Jones again.
Look at Ewing battle. 16 years in the NBA. Fighting off early signs of rigor mortis.
Last one down.
Go. And here's Lou. Rod Lou with a great opportunity, not able to hit Garrity, and both teams are struggling.
Well, Doc Rivers always gives this team license to almost take any shot. They could have been shooting a layup that time, and they had a 3-on-2 looking for a layup, and they end up with the 3-point shot. Hudson.
And Hudson off the steal is able to hit, so the Magic now up by 4. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter, and it's been racehorse basketball here in the second.
Troy Hudson, the ex-Los Angeles Clipper, playing very well here. Went to the same school in college as Walt Frazier went to, Southern Illinois.
Bushler forcing Jordan into that air ball. Here's Hayward, and he continues to do an excellent job. 7 points for Hayward.
Thank goodness for Hayward hanging around the basket and rebounding the missed shots. They're beginning to struggle to get good offensive opportunities. They only shot 32% in that first quarter.
Beautiful pass.
Patrick Ewing on the pick and roll from Darrell Armstrong. And the Magic with a 29-25 lead.
Orlando going with the double point guard lineup, Armstrong and Troy Hudson, and still no signs whatsoever of Kwame Brown, and that can't be a positive sign for the Washington Wizards.
Haywood not able to handle that pass. Here comes Armstrong.
You've got to catch the ball when you're playing with Michael Jordan.
Armstrong tips it back to Garrity, and he fires.
You can see that the Wizards are tired. They're not reacting to the ball. Armstrong makes a steal, takes a shot, tips it back out, and they end up with 2 points.
These are young guys. What do they have to be tired from?
Well, the Magic with their biggest lead of the game. They're up by 6 with 7:48 remaining in this first half.
Patrick Ewing providing a tremendous spark here, playing off the bench. The future Hall of Famer Doc Rivers extremely happy.
Whitney in the backcourt, Popeye Jones, Brendan Haywood, and Michael Jordan up front. Jordan is being guarded by Tracy McGrady. Michael able to hit over Tracy.
So much more effective when he doesn't pump fake. Guys are not going for that fake around the league. And Michael's such a different player. The explosiveness not there at 38.
Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing had one big ball game this season several weeks ago against the Phoenix Suns. 22 points, 15 rebounds, has not been getting the playing time, but he did in that particular game, and looking sharp here today.
Well, the reason that they have him is a low post presence, and Ewing feels that if they let him play, and if they give him the ball, he can still do the job. So he wants a chance to get the ball and show Doc Rivers, I'm not that far removed from a guy that can score inside.
Patrick is 3 for 4, 6 points.
Nice shot selection, Darrell Armstrong.
Yes. Darrell pumping the ball. All possible angles.
Darrell Armstrong has always been that kind of quick shooting player. And his calling card is hustle. Streaky, but he'll make steals. He'll make some big shots, and you know, he'll defend well. So I don't think that Doc Rivers worries so much about his shot selection.
Tracy McGrady having a very difficult time on the offensive end.
So his third shot.
Steve, we're halfway through the second quarter.
Michael Jordan. That's his third field goal. 3 for 5. He has 7 points.
Michael doesn't get to the free throw line like the old days. Did not shoot a free throw line at Cleveland for the first time in 150-plus games.
One of the things that hurt both of these teams are their jump shooting teams. They're perimeter oriented. They don't get a lot of second shots. They don't get a lot of high percentage stuff. And that's what allowed the Wizards to stay in this ball game. It's
countered with the double point guard lineup of his own. Ron Lue and Chris Whitney.
And Hudson off the steal. Hudson going all the way. Jordan got poked in the eye.
McGrady trying to reach in and make a play, got Jordan in the eye.
So Michael Jordan being checked out as he took that poke.
Michael has been one of the most durable players that have ever played any sport. Never missed a playoff game in his career. On the rebound, the forced shot on a 3-on-1. The guy who had the ball kept it the whole time. The terrific rebound by Jordan.
Wizards trainer Steve Stricker checking over Michael Jordan. So Darrell Armstrong inadvertently got a piece of Michael. And apparently, he's all right. We'll be right back.
Doctors took a look at his eye. It was just poked in the eye. They put some eye solution in there. Michael said it's blurry. He can't really focus on it. They put some more eye solution in. Said he just wanted to run up and down the court a while, see if he can get that focus back, and he's going to continue. Mark?
All right, thanks, Jim. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in this second quarter, and Jordan's first shot is way off.
But it's the kind of play that can make Michael angry. Make him play at a different level. Often the truly brilliant ones, Michael Jordan, Bird, John McEnroe, that little spark put him over the edge.
Well, let's see if McGrady can come back and answer.
Wrapped it in Tracy McGrady. What a performance by Haywood in this first half.
Since he's been back, he has been very effective, coming in and beautifully that time, just getting up there chest to chest and then waiting until McGrady brought the ball out in front of him, Jordan, to the locker room to get checked out.
So Haywood sits down. Jordan departs back to the Washington Wizards locker room. Haywood 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 blocked shot. Magic 33, the Wizards 29 with 4:40 to go in this first half.
Well, they've taken Haywood out of the ball game and a chance for Christian Laettner and Hamilton to try to get into it, get a foul against Mike Miller.
Horace Grant will report back in, and Pat Garrity will sit down. Wizards have Popeye Jones, Christian Laettner, Hubert Davis, Chris Whitney, Richard Hamilton on the floor, so they go with a 3-guard set.
14 on the clock. Mike Miller, who was last year's Rookie of the Year, primarily in the offensive end. Teams are just attacking him and isolating Miller. He's going to have to become a more dedicated defensive player.
Now this is the chance for McGrady to take over the second quarter here. He's got a smaller man defending him. It's either going to be Hubert Brown. Great pass.
Wow.
And the foul on Popeye Jones.
What vision for Tracy McGrady to see that pass.
Well, you take a choice of either Richard Hamilton or Davis defending him, and that means he's going to make plays for everybody else out on the floor.
All those guys.
He has got to take over the last 2 minutes of this ball game. Give his team a little breathing room. He's got smaller defenders against him, so he's got to look to be aggressive and make it play.
Here's McGrady again. Tracy McGrady and the foul.
Right now, the Wizards have nobody on the floor that has a chance of even dreaming about covering Tracy McGrady. Hubert Davis has got the man-to-man assignment. Kwame Brown late on the rotation for the first play, and the second play right away looks and sees Hubert Davis again and says, take this.
On the floor as Tracy McGrady is back at the foul line. 2:20 remaining in this first half, and the Magic with a 41-35 lead. That's why there was always tension between the officials. Constant problems. Laettner with the fake on Hunter.
3 seconds.
Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Marvel. Michael Jordan had a couple of doctors and the training staff from the Wizards look at him when he was back in the locker room. They poured some more solution in. He said he was having some trouble, still couldn't really focus, and all of a sudden it just kind of came back and clicked in. I talked to him as he was coming out, said everything is fine right now. The eye is a little bit swollen, his left eye, but he says he is not having problem at all right now seeing out of the eye or being able to focus in. Mark?
All right, thanks, Jim. Tracy McGrady going right at Michael Jordan, and Tracy has come on in this second quarter. Remember, he was also in early foul trouble. McGrady now has 10 points.
Yeah, he's got to be the guy that's going to provide the separation and the high percentage shot. He can drive it. He can jump over people.
Christian Laettner with his first field goal, so he is 1 for 5 from the field.
And conversely, Mike Miller has yet to score for Doc.
Hoping that he'll make his return within a couple of games.
Grant is wearing a walking boot on that foot.
They want to get Miller a chance to score. He goes around Christian Laettner, and we'll get a foul.
For Laettner, it is his second. Bill, earlier you mentioned the defensive problems of Mike Miller, and Doc Rivers was saying that he just has to play better defense. He said every game they go right at Mike Miller.
I think a lot of it will be rectified if Tracy McGrady will take more of a leadership role. Tracy McGrady has the capability, as Jordan goes to the bench, you have to see if that's an eye problem or just resting here in the closing minute 14. But McGrady has the ability to be one of the league's premier defensive stars. And he can inspire the rest of the guys.
You can't help Mike Miller move his feet or react to the ball.
Seems to be quick enough on the offensive end. I don't know what the difference would be on the other end.
Here's Miller pulling up for 3.
Do you know anybody that isn't quicker at the offensive end? Every player loves to shoot. Miller is a stick. He's a shooter, so he's always going to be more active at that end of the floor. You got to hope at some point he becomes a better position defender.
Armstrong with a driving hook. Darrell Armstrong pulling the entire repertoire out here this evening. He now has 8 points and 8 assists. We're down to a half minute remaining in this first half, and the Wizards will talk it over.
Michael Jordan did not go to the locker room, so that's a good sign. Hopefully an indication that the eye is not bothering him. Doug Collins just giving him a little bit of a breather.
Well, he has 2 fouls. Jordan is back out on the floor. They want to get a hoop here, finish with some sort of offensive momentum.
And here's Michael off the telephone.
I thought that fake wasn't any good.
I guess the eye is all right.
He's still grimacing, though. He's blinking it constantly.
Michael has 9 points, 4 for 7 from the field. The Magic with a 45-39 lead, and now Orlando holding for a final shot. About a 1.5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Armstrong with a nice change of pace to whip by Leitner. Final seconds. Hamilton went behind the back and lost it. Here's Hudson getting it away. Troy Hudson with the steal and the jumper.
Incredible turnaround.
A 3 for Hudson, who has 9 points, a 13-4 run by the Magic to end this first half. Orlando led by McGrady with 10, Armstrong with 10, Jordan with 9. Here's another look at it.
Orlando's a terrific team at playing with the lead. Not a good comeback team whatsoever, but Troy Hudson able to look at that shot clock and realize he had time to gather, was not bothered whatsoever by Richard Hamilton's flailing arms defensively.
And he was scratched in the corner of his left eyeball. He said he can't get a lot of moisture into the eyeball. He's been blinking an awful lot when he was poked in the eye there by Darrell Armstrong. I asked him if he's seeing 2 rims now. He said, nope, I'm seeing 3. So I'm going to shoot for the one in the middle.
Marv, Jim always posing the penetrating questions. And Michael answered him. Jordan in the first half, 4 for 7 from the field. He had 9 points. The Magic shooting 51% in the first half, 10 apiece for Armstrong and McGrady. Hudson with 9, a big finish for Troy Hudson. Ewing had 8. And Michael leads the Wizards with 9.
A lot of Wizards have to come alive here in support of Jordan. Hamilton, Leitner, Whitney, and Tyronn Lue would be major candidates. Throwing Popeye Jones as well.
Chris Whitney comes up short. Richard Hamilton. So it's a 9-point Orlando lead. Darrell Armstrong at the point. Tracy McGrady at the shooting guard. Up front, Horace Grant, Mike Miller, and the rookie Stephen Hunter. Here's Miller. So Mike Miller with his first field goal.
On only 3 attempts in the first half, that would be in the 4th.
If you keep talking about compadres, there are 2 guys, Hamilton and Miller, that have to help McGrady and Jordan win the ball game.
Beautiful passing.
And Christian Leitner, the recipient of that Jordan assist.
When Jordan has the ball, you just have to be on the move, and you have to keep eye contact and mental contact with him at all times.
Same shot.
Bit closer, but Mike Miller going to that jump hook for his 2nd field goal. And it's Orlando 54, Washington 43.
Richard Hamilton will have to learn how to keep from getting back down.
Wizards at 5-10. They've won 2 straight, 3 of the last 4. Coming off victories over the 76ers. Last night in Miami, foul is called on Miller.
Chris Whitney's not right. He twisted his ankle. He's going to go out as Hubert Davis comes in, but Mike Miller playing like Shaquille O'Neal, just working his way right to wherever he wants to get a point-blank range.
Well, in order to help Hamilton, you're going to have pressure on the ball so they can't find Miller.
Hamilton is rejected.
This guy, Stephen Hunter, looks terrific for Orlando.
Now Miller from the perimeter. Johnny White had it knocked away by Hunter, but Gilbert Davis on the recovery. Jordan on the push.
That is so beautiful, so smooth, and so fluid. Effortless shot release.
9-point. Orlando lead the Magic in their last game Thursday night at home. Lost to Boston by 10. Heard the boos from the crowd in Orlando. They shot only 38%. 6 for 30 from downtown. McGrady working hard against Jordan. Rejected by White. And it's a 24-second violation.
Doug Collins up off the bench. Expired by Jahidi White.
But you could see this play coming because it was a solo effort by McGrady, and everybody else was standing around, and that's what allowed Jahidi White to just come over and slap it away. Another foul against Miller.
When you can block a hook shot from 8 feet away, you timed it perfectly. Doc Rivers calling for the goaltender.
Mike Miller picks up his third.
Maybe that'll be the defensive spark that brings some life to this Wizard team that is just standing around watching Michael play.
And Jordan thought that he was fouled. He took a shot on the bridge of his nose. But a rough one physically for Michael Jordan.
Slides down, and on this jump by, he just lost the spacing that he wanted to have, and you get a push against Horace Grant against Jahidi White.
It was a good spacing by the Wizards and a nice screening block out by Jahidi White.
Good recovery by Miller along the baseline against Hamilton. Now Leitner putting a move on Grant, taking to the rim, and hits Christian Leitner, working hard for his third field goal. He has 6 points, and Doc Rivers upset, takes a 20-second timeout.
The 2 games we've had here this year with Jordan and the Wizards, Leitner and Hamilton have come alive in the second half after being totally quiet. This is not a good sign here for Tracy McGrady.
This is one of those buckets that hits the bottom of the rim and gets a good bounce for him, and in the process, they take McGrady out of the ball game with a whack.
As a defender, you have to keep your forearms up to get the attacking elbow that comes out. That's very painful. We can only hope that Tracy's all right.
It has been a bruising game for both Tracy McGrady and Michael Jordan. Grant Hill is out of action.
Obviously in a great deal of pain, head buried right there.
He's a tough guy, Tracy McGrady. When he's like that, that is not a positive thing.
Now Judd Bushler getting set to check back in.
I had a chance to talk to Judd about some of the comments made about Michael Jordan this week, about how he's slowing down this franchise's progress. Judd thought it was ludicrous, and I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Comments from others.
From others that
not from Bushler.
No. That other people were saying that Michael Jordan was retarding the progress of the Wizard franchise and holding back people like Richard Hamilton and Courtney Alexander. Nothing could be further from the truth.
You don't think that they deferred too much when Jordan got on the floor?
Oh, Michael told us before the game that they're afraid of him, and he's trying to ease their fear. But they got to learn to play with him.
Hunter with a wild shot going at Jahidi White, but draws the foul. The Magic trainer Ted Arzonico checking out Tracy McGrady, and has given him the green light. Tracy getting set to check back in. The foul was called on Jordan. That's 3 on Michael.
All right, Marv. Well, Tracy McGrady took some time over on the bench being assisted by the trainer. He just lost where he was for a moment. Lost his wits. Not anywhere near a technical knockout or anything, but he just wanted to gather himself and get collected, and he took some time off. Came back to it. As we see the dunk by White. And McGrady's back out on the court. Mark?
All right, Jim, the Magic with a 55-49 lead. So the Wizards are within 6. Jahidi White with his second field goal.
That was almost a double dunk by White.
Miller, his shot has been off.
Yeah, that's Miller's money right there, and he's got to be able to make that jump shot, and he hasn't finished in this ball game. So they're looking for Mike Miller to get going.
He told us his legs were fine before the game. He missed the first 5 or 6 ball games at the start of the season due to a chipped fracture. But
shot clock down to 4. Jordan.
But, you know, we talked to Doc Rivers yesterday, and he said, you know, we've got to be able to stop teams at critical times. And right here in the third quarter, with the Wizards rallying, they've got to be able to shut them down and score.
McGrady. So Tracy McGrady has 12 points. And the Magic up now 57-49.
Great head-to-head matchup. And the discipline by both players. McGrady patient. Jordan playing him as well as you could.
As Davis got the step, the foul is called. Push on Armstrong.
Tracy McGrady makes the pivot, then gets that lead foot out in front to make Jordan back up. Gives him the rocker. Too good, too tall.
Leitner. White with a good play to get it to Hamilton. Nice back tap by Jahidi White. And the Wizards again are within 6. Orlando is led by as many as 11. Here's McGrady. Yes, Tracy McGrady has 14.
Jordan Gamble trying to get around, get in front, and you can't expose McGrady to those kind of shots without being burned.
His teammates have to recognize that that's where the Orlando attack is coming every single time. When he goes for that steal, you've got to cover for him.
Davis. White had it slapped away, and here comes Armstrong, following Hunter, and then gives it up. Horace Grant. Armstrong with the save, but he stepped out of bounds.
That's why they have Darrell Armstrong out on the floor, because he's just constant energy. Drives it, kicks it, and chases it. Great hustle from Darrell Armstrong.
The last play for the Wizards, Michael Jordan wanted to pass that ball. He saw it was Jahidi White who was the open man. He had to force the shot he didn't want to take.
So timeout is taken with 6:17 remaining in the third. Orlando with an 8-point lead.
Some light therapy, some running early this week, and hopefully be back out there Wednesday or Thursday.
Grant, you're limping quite a bit and you're wearing this boot. Are you concerned this is becoming a chronic thing and that you might not ever be what you were?
Not at all. No, I don't think so. I think I was, before last week, I was definitely making strides. I was trying to get my legs. You sit out for a year, your legs are the first thing that goes. So it took me a while to get my legs. My ankle wasn't giving me any problems. I had this situation. They say it's not related to the stress fracture, but we got some good news today, and we'll just see how it feels as we go throughout the whole rehab process.
How long psychologically do you think it will take you to get your confidence back and be able to go all out and just know that it's not going to be that problem?
I don't know. That's a good question. One thing I've been dealing with in November was just the mental aspect of coming back. And I think physically I have my legs probably more than I think. But, you know, you think about this, you think about what's happened, and that plays a role. So I have to get over that mental hurdle once I get over this physical one.
Grant, we wish you all the best. We look forward to seeing you back off on the court.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Mark, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. 6-time All-Star. He's been named to all NBA first or second teams on 5 occasions. Grant Hill played only 4 games for the Magic last year because of the ankle problem. Michael Jordan has missed his last 5 shots. Jahidi White has really picked it up in this third quarter.
Jahidi White is taking advantage of the creativity of Michael Jordan. Now what the Wizards have to do is find some way to slow down Tracy McGrady. The attack is coming there. Jordan's having to gamble a lot.
Well, getting a piece of it. McGrady thought he was fouled.
Oh, White is a wrecking ball inside on these loose balls. Just gets it, and you can see all of that size and strength that he just overpowers everybody to pull down the bucket. Now, McGrady is complaining because he feels he gets whacked on the play, and he's saying, this guy's been hitting me all day, but he just lost control of that ball.
Easy play to call. The ball was out of his hands before there was any contact.
Magic up by 7 points. McGrady forcing.
Nice job by Jordan that time, moving up quickly, forcing McGrady to take an extremely difficult shot.
Michael Jordan, who had missed his 5 previous shots, bringing the Wizards within 5. Timeout called. Very close when you check out the stats for the year, both among the leading scorers in the NBA. And thus far today, McGrady with 14 points on 7 of 12 from the field, and Jordan 6 for 14. Here's McGrady adding to that stat, and the Magic extending to a 64-57 lead. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Jones from the MCI Center in Washington. And the call made away from the ball. That's number 4 on Mike Miller.
Michael Jordan, he's matched up head-to-head with McGrady, and when McGrady swings to the weak side, the double screen there, they've got to switch out. Hubert Davis a little slow on the rotation.
So you're saying that wasn't Michael Jordan's fault?
They screened 2 guys, Horace Grant and Patrick Ewing. It's not his job to get through that.
He lost him on the other side of the ball.
It's called team defense, Steve.
Magic over the foul limit. Richard Hamilton, one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA, cuts it back to a 5-point lead. Tracy McGrady now operating at the point. Troy Hudson has come on for Darrell Armstrong. What a performance by Armstrong. 10 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds.
When McGrady goes to the point, it looks as though that's when he wants to take over the game offensively. Last 2 shots coming from him have been perimeter shots, but he's been in that attack mode.
Patrick Ewing is back on the floor, so Ewing and Grant are the big men.
Looking to McGrady again.
Here's Ewing with the drop step.
Beautiful step out, Horace Grant.
Leitner right into Ewing, stripped by Bushler, and Hudson able to get to him.
Pretty basketball.
Here's Hudson, little circle route, the swing it to Bushler, quick break. Leitner and White battling amongst themselves.
12 years now for Judd Bushler, coming off a career-high game in rebounds the other night against Boston when he had 12. Terrific pickup.
Oh, McGrady got a piece of it. And last touch by Jordan. Good play by Tracy McGrady.
He surprised Jordan with that quick poke away and then beat him to the ball. And Jordan is bouncing out and got the ball in good position. And he gets deflected. And he never recovered from that flush.
Matt Garrity has checked back in. Horace Grant sitting down. Horace leads with 6 points.
Wizards have shown an ability in these 3 or 4 wins here to come back after trailing most of the game.
Brady draws the foul. That's 4 on Leitner.
Allen's plan is to try to get some inside reaction from the defense by putting Michael Jordan on the post. It worked, but they've got to finish the play.
But Doug cannot be pleased with the offensive fluidity. It's Michael Jordan and very little else.
Now Hubert Davis defending on Tracy McGrady. You saw him check the clock and then drill it. McGrady with 20 and the Magic 68, the Wizards 59.
McGrady's in that zone right now where he's looking to score on everybody.
But Michael has to be matched up with McGrady. The Hubert Davis matchup is not a good one for Doug Collins.
Brady has scored the last 6 Magic points, 10 of the last 13, and out here Jordan defending on McGrady. Patrick Ewing, and Ewing has played well. He has 10 points.
How frustrating for Jordan and Collins. And you play great defense on one side and you give up the long rebound to the other. Inexcusable.
Shot clock down to 6. Jordan. And a loose ball foul on the Wizards.
Michael Jordan taking the personal challenge of saying, Tracy, I'm going to guard you because nobody else on this team can. But when that type of shot from the baseline goes long, you've got to have great defensive position already established.
Now, McGrady wants the ball every time, and he's trying to really keep some pressure on Jordan and the Wizards.
Hustles it down, and it's deflected on last touch by the Wizards.
Ewing's played very well in all aspects.
We were talking with Doc Rivers about Patrick Ewing and how he's accepted the role coming off the bench. He said he's handled the cutback in playing time very classy. He said he told Patrick, we'll need you later in the season, in the playoffs. Doc says there are just nights that Ewing's body will not do it. Played only 6 minutes the other night, but has played well here today.
The playoffs started today. Orlando would not be in it.
That is true.
As well as Miami and Charlotte, a couple teams that we thought that would really be up there this year.
Ewing step out of bounds.
Not a good decision right there on the inbound play by Orlando to get the ball to Patrick Ewing against the shot clock. He steps back and steps out of bounds.
Only the 6th turnover, though, committed by Magic.
Tyronn Lue now in the ballgame running the point 0 for 5 in the first half. Ouch.
Darrell Armstrong getting set to make his return. Just under 1 minute left in the third quarter. Michael having problems here with Tracy McGrady. Hamilton, shot clock at 3, just fires one. Whoa. And it's a 24-second violation.
Orlando's defense has shown signs of life here.
Defense that is ranked last in the NBA, allow 100 points a game. Not able to get key stops, says Doc Rivers. They can score, but at the other end, they have not been able to do it.
That was a great stand that time by McGrady on Jordan.
Armstrong feeding Ewing. So Patrick Ewing is 5 for 8, 12 points, 4 rebounds.
But they forced the switch. That's what made the play for Orlando, making Richard Hamilton switch on the play.
Here comes Hudson. And he lost it. So the ball back to the Wizards with 12 seconds to go in the third.
Doc Rivers cannot believe that they couldn't get a shot that time.
Now he's saying, look at the clock. I mean, we want the last shot. We don't want that shot.
Well, Orlando with an 8-0 run. They head to the second quarter with a 13-4 burst. Hubert Davis concludes the spurt. 2 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's Hudson. Not able to do it this time. He did at the end of the first half. Now Jordan bursting and takes his ball. And it counts. A beautiful feed for Hayward.
In the post, Michael Jordan at his best, 38 years old, ready to freeze Tracy McGrady with a little hitch. Ewing comes over, and that just frees up a wide open Hamilton, who can easily finish that play.
Mistake by Patrick Ewing. McGrady doesn't need the help right now. Make Jordan shoot over him.
Kerr, 6 assists for Michael Jordan. And a defense for the crowd. Wizards now trailing by 7. Jordan slapping it away from McGrady. Ewing. Ewing thought he was fouled. And Hayward hearing the reaction from the crowd. So Brendan Hayward with his second block shot.
Doc Rivers has seen enough. He senses a change of momentum. He wants a timeout.
Hoping to do the same right here. Orlando has been stifled Thus far, we played just about 3 minutes of the fourth. And Washington trying to get back into it. 5 on the shot clock is the Magic. Looks for a shot, not able to get it off in time. It's a 24-second violation. Wizards stay with the small lineup. The only big man, the rookie from North Carolina, Brendan Haywood, along with Jordan, Davis, Hamilton, and Lou. And now Lou is at the point.
They went small last night. It was very effective. Jordan controlling the game from the low post.
Michael not able to hit over Tracy McGrady, so he's 6 for 17. Here's McGrady with a series of fakes to set it up for Ewing, and he is fouled by Haywood.
The difference in winning or losing in this game is going to come down to the superstars. Jordan being able to effectively do something against the Magic defense, and McGrady reestablishing the third quarter that he had to kind of push the lead for them.
McGrady, when his time is up.
Say middle of the night?
Absolutely.
There's Haywood getting inside.
On the night before the opener, Patrick Ewing, 11:30 at night, in the Orlando Magic practice facility, working on his shot.
But that was only one night, is that?
No, as regularly he's been doing that.
Nice ball movement by Orlando, and it's a 3 for Armstrong. 13 points for Darrell Armstrong. Orlando 79, Washington 69.
The tempo has been controlled by Orlando. They haven't given up any fast break points. Really only 2 on the entire evening for the Wizards.
Ron Lou, his first field goal. He was 0 for 6.
We're seeing, other than Richard Hamilton and Jordan, a completely new lineup for Doug Collins. Haywood, Davis, and Lou getting significant minutes down the stretch.
That's a baseline. Great.
Oh, McGrady with the reverse draws the foul.
This guy's really good, Tracy McGrady.
I'm glad you just picked up on that.
I haven't
Bill,
picked up on that tonight. This guy, he has it all.
Magic.
Or pick more guards and leave out some of the big guys.
Magic by 10 with 7.5 remaining in this fourth quarter, and a timeout has been called. Orlando with an 81-71 lead on the Wizards with 7:22 remaining in this fourth quarter.
Well, Jordan is now 1 for 10. We don't know whether it's the eye or the fact that he's starting to show some fatigue, but he's not dialing in, and they need some big scores from him to keep this game tight.
This is the 4th game in 5 nights for Michael.
Here's McGrady over Hamilton and draws the foul. Tracy McGrady back to the line at San Antonio, the start of the 4-game road swing. Meanwhile, Orlando with a favorable schedule coming up after playing 8 of their first 11 on the road. Monday night back home from Memphis. First of 3 straight at home, followed by Chicago and Atlanta. 6 of 7 at home. Foul is called on Bushler.
One of the problems that Washington is having is that they have no place to go for offense. Michael's struggling, 1 out of his last 10. Tyronn Lue is bringing the ball up the court and looking at the strong side. He's got Hubert Davis, who's a spot-up weak side shooter. The numbers not good here for Michael in the fourth. 2 for 11 in the second half. Got Haywood in the post there. Hasn't really established himself as a go-to guy.
But the best result happened for them when they put Jordan in the post. Just the threat of him down on the post and defense coming to him. He was making plays for other people. So maybe you go back to that.
17 points for Richard Hamilton. It's a 10-point Orlando lead.
They're just going to milk McGrady. He is too good right now.
And Pat Garrity with a 3. So Orlando able to extend to an 86-73 advantage.
Pat Garrity looking a lot better. Physical fitness coming along. He lost about 8 or 9 pounds. Step out foul on Patrick Ewing.
But the ball is moving too freely as they are double teaming Tracy McGrady, and they've got guys that can make shots. Garrity is streaky. When he gets hot, he's going to make several of those shots, so they can't leave him loose.
Defending the pick and roll does not look real solid or sure for the Washington Wizards.
Well, Rick hasn't had a good day from the field, but he's making his numbers from the free throw line. Gets a pair.
86-75. Orlando, some pressure over Tyronn Lue on Darrell Armstrong. Bushler for 3. And a foul on Lue, stripping Ewing.
Orlando is attacking Michael Jordan. They're bringing the ball to McGrady time and time again, and then they're coming with multiple screens. Garrity, Ewing, Bushler just knocking him off balance, wearing him down.
Both teams now over the foul. Just under 6 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Ewing, solid defense in all aspects.
Jumping out at Lue, then getting back to play Haywood. Here's Hubert Davis. And Ewing with yet another rebound.
He's controlled that whole sequence for Orlando.
But as Doc Rivers told us yesterday, he can only do it on certain occasions. This is one of those nights. Ewing checking the shot clock. Down to 2. Down to 1. Armstrong comes to McGrady. Spins his ball and set it up for Armstrong. It was blocked. Blocked by Jordan.
Great save by Jordan. That was his sure layup, and he came back in there to dust it off, but they got to get something done at this end. Jordan in the post.
No transition game at all for Washington.
Jordan rejected by McGrady.
Tracy said he was looking forward to this game. You mentioned that at the outset, and he has certainly delivered.
Yes, he said he circled it on his personal calendar.
But that's the difference between 22 and 38. And Jordan is beginning to feel and show the fatigue, and McGrady is feeling his oats.
Foul on Haywood. That's his third, so Ewing is back at the line. Missed his last 2. He's 4 for 6. Patrick Ewing played last year with Seattle, 11-time All-Star, as a member of the New York Knicks in his 15 years in New York. 4.5 remaining in this fourth quarter.
We came in curious about the Magic defense. They have been very good in a lot of respects tonight on the defensive end.
Say it's also the quality of the opposition here.
I think the 4 games in 5 nights is really showing up.
But this was a must-win game for the Orlando Magic. They had broken down in a lot of areas, and they were struggling, so you knew that they were going to come out and really try to give a good accounting of themselves. And whenever they've been in trouble, they've gone to McGrady, and he's made the difference.
Here's Hamilton off the steal. Hamilton looking to go all the way, and he is fouled. They were intent on not allowing him to get that shot off.
And then some of the Magic players argued with the call.
Collins saying, that will do it. 3:50 to go.
So there's no sense in taking his beating, son.
Michael 6 for 19, 15 points.
As well as Orlando has played tonight, though, their future is so much brighter. At the end of next season, no team in the league is going to be better positioned with salary cap room, with 7 first-round draft choices over the next couple of years. John Gabriel's done an outstanding job here.
Obviously, the trade Bo Outlaw for Doug Bushler clearing catch room. Once again, they are looking down the road. Tim Duncan, as Terron Lou is able to hit, and it's a 9-point Magic lead as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Jermaine O'Neal and Baron Davis also free agents in that year.
Bushler. Oh, Ewing. Rebound and puts it home. Patrick Ewing. 18 points, 12 rebounds. Lou with the hesitation dribble. Injects and the foul. Terron Lou with another bucket and heads to the line. Timeout is called by the Magic. 2:56 remaining in the fourth. Orlando on their way to victory number 8 to go 8-9 on the season. Brendan Haywood has been very impressive. 15 points, 7 rebounds for Haywood.
And great signs for Washington's future. This guy can continue to develop and produce. Sky's the limit.
Well, he's been great on the follow-ups, and now you got to find out whether he has another weapon.
Armstrong for 3. Darrell Armstrong started slowly, but has come on and put together a terrific game. 17 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds. Orlando on its way to stopping the losing streak at 3. A reach-in foul is called.
It looked like it was after the buzzer to me.
Yes. 6:87 is the final. Tracy McGrady, 26 points on 10 of 20 shooting. Darrell Armstrong with 17 points and 12 assists. Michael Jordan just 6 for 19. 15 points. Richard Hamilton led the way for Washington with 21. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Marv. 26 points for Tracy McGrady. Tracy, you told us in the pregame you had circled this date on your calendar. Did you meet your expectations, and did Michael meet your expectations in his performance?
Well, I mean, I expected it'd be a good contest between the two of us, but I just wanted to go out and treat it like any other game. I know it's Michael Jordan, but, you know, we was on a 3-game losing streak, so this win was pretty big for us.
You break the 3-game losing streak. Do you feel as though you'll be able to get this type of contribution from Patrick Ewing night in and night out as the season goes on?
Well, it might be a little bit inconsistent, but, I mean, when we can get it, it helps the team. But that's all that we can ask. Just bring his energy and his low post presence every night, and whatever we get out of it, and that's what we got to deal with.